Hello everyone, it's Dr. Jackie here from Sante Medical, and I wanted to create this short video to give you an overview or a 30,000 foot view of the big picture of what we're trying to achieve through appointments with me to improve metabolic health or weight loss. Often people come in for weight loss, but we're really trying to improve their metabolic health. So in my in-person appointments or on my online program called Sante Circle, these are the overall objectives we're trying to achieve. And so this can be helpful to have an idea of the big picture when you're undertaking such a journey. It's always helpful to understand what I have in mind and where I hope to see things going, and then you can get an appreciation of where things are going to go over time. Because in the beginning, what we focus on will be quite different to what we then focus on in 6 weeks or 6 months down the track. So it's really important to have that overall view, and it can help give us an idea of where different dietary strategies can fall into place here, because we don't need to overly complicate things more than we need to. So let's go through this graphic. I'm just going to move me up here. This big picture. So this is part of a resource I've developed for people who come in and have an appointment with me, but I wanted to share it with everyone. So the big picture, so that's, talking about why we're doing this. So we, start off on our journey here, and our first objective, and often people don't really appreciate this, but our first objective is to actually become a better fat burner. And this is even in priority to actually losing weight. People often think they'll come in, they'll start losing weight. That may or may not happen. But if it does, it's a welcome side effect. It's not really to be expected in significant amounts, again, which is disappointing to a lot of people. But and a lot of that initial weight that people might lose, for instance, when they swap to a lower carbohydrate type of diet, initially is a lot of fluid and glycogen. So a lot of fluid changes in the body represent most of that initial weight loss someone might see. But what we're trying to achieve in this first part of doing this is to become better at burning fat. So to improve the cell's ability to use fat as a fuel source rather than to be continually relying on blood glucose and replenishing that. So that's our first objective that we want to do. After we've done that for a few weeks, let's say 3 to 4 weeks, our cells will be better at burning fat. And so then we'll be moving more into an objective of wanting to accelerate that fat loss. Okay, and so that can include strategies like adding in some strategic fasting and doing targeted types of exercise to help just accelerate that fat loss process. And so that's the main focus of this second objective, which again will go for a varying amount of time depending on how much weight someone might want to lose. But that's that second objective. Now we'll come back to this area in amber in just a minute, but we'll move down to objective 3. So sometimes people get to a weight loss plateau point, often at this stage I find, and what I find can help at this point is to have the overall objective to improve insulin or optimize insulin sensitivity. I corrected myself there because obviously throughout the whole process we're improving insulin sensitivity, but objective 3, we really want to optimize that process. And again, there's certain strategies we can add in here to achieve this. And this will again involve optimizing your macronutrient intake and dialing in a little bit more some of the macronutrient amounts or targets we should aim for each day, including for protein, fat, and carbohydrate. And also optimizing exercise and other lifestyle strategies like sleep and stress management. And again, these will be important, but if they haven't been sufficiently addressed and there's an element of residual insulin resistance, which sometimes I find people still have at this point, this is now an important area to focus on, is optimizing that insulin sensitivity. So then we move into objective 4. So once we've optimized that insulin sensitivity as much as we possibly can, and that's measured through things that we'll check in the consult, like waist measurement and blood pressure, but also blood parameters. So once we're happy with that, and that can get as good to as where we think it can be, then we want to just find a way of, as effortlessly as possible, maintaining our new lifestyle change. And that's getting to the point where we're not always having to think about, what foods to eat. We're in a bit of a effortless than what it might have been in the beginning when making an initial first change. And so that leads us to, feeling strong and happy and feeling free to enjoy the rest of our lives. So let's just come back now to this amber section. So this won't apply to everyone, but some people will find there's other funny stuff going on in their body. So they might have some evidence of autoimmune illness or other struggles that are impacting on their ability to achieve their desired results with their health and metabolic health. So what we want to do back here, if it's looking like things aren't traveling along as we would expect, we'll identify where that's coming from. So if it's, for example, food cravings, we want to dial more in or identify possible physiologic factors that could be contributing to that. So that could be things like nutrient deficiency, and then we want to replace that. Or if there's other funny symptoms going on, we want to identify if it is in fact an autoimmune process happening. So test that through various tests and identify if that is the case, and then move to a strategy to address that. And that might be some form of elimination diet, including a version of, for example, the carnivore diet, but it doesn't have to be the carnivore diet. That's just an example. So that just gives you an overall view of what we're trying to achieve here and what diet strategy should come into play and when. So I hope that helps. And if you want any more information on how to actually implement this, the best places to go are either my online program called Sante Circle, or book in a consultation to see me or remotely see me in my practice at the moment, mainly through telehealth, and I'll put both of the links below. So thanks for watching. We'll see you later.